Yeah.
Welcome to the Barbershop, where we cut through the noise to have the real and uncomfortable conversations.
Absolutely.
What's up? How we doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing, man. I went to the barbershop yesterday, so, I feel like I did yesterday. Nice and good, refreshed, ready to get cleaned up, man, mentally.
Yeah.
Mental, give me a like mental fade real quick.
It's like favorite song on the radio good going to the barbershop.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's like,
Yeah.
especially like on a Friday after work, right? Like,
you might go
you get
out.
in the car, sun shining, you open the sunroof, you got your favorite song on the radio.
Yeah.
Who's stopping you?
Feel good, look good.
You feel like $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look forward to going to the barbershop for a plethora of different reasons.
So yeah. Listen, I'm trying to go to the barbershop twice a week.
Shout out to you though, man, for even doing it. Like I said, I shot my first episode, Nothing's Normal, right here.
Was it here? He was here. It was definitely here.
Literally right here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Wow. It's changed, right?
It's life. It's good.
Yeah. Well,
like,
I mean, again, that's what it's about. It's about progression.
Yeah.
It's about getting to the next level, right? And it's about ascension in life.
Yeah.
Right? It's about, where do you fit in, right? Like, because you got to have some kind of commonality. You got to have a connection. And you got to have, you have to have a backbone, but you also have to have a support system in order to, be successful.
Well, I mean, look at the body. The back, you need all your faculties. It all adds up to your everyday movement, something that's simple. It takes a lot of energy just to make simple movements, and every part is to be valued. Like even like this, like I said, you coming on to the campaign has been tremendous, as you can see, as you can see. So
men's mental health, but, just men's wellness, for me, I'm not gonna lie. It's like, it's a passion, right? Like, and I discovered my passion, like, working in the mental health field. Like, I was like a practice manager for a mental health facility, and I discovered a treatment. It was called TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation.
Okay.
And I performed over 500 treatments, but I was able to be on a journey with these people of them getting healthy.
Yeah.
Right? And it was a process, right? So it wasn't just them coming in for a treatment for 6 weeks. And, for anybody who doesn't know, TMS stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation. It's a technology very similar to like an MRI, it's a magnetic coil that stimulates your head. Think of it like your blinds are opening up, right? Like slowly but surely. That's kind of how you get better from this treatment. It's like the cells in your, what you call your prefrontal cortex, right?
Yeah.
They're like loosening up those cells to open them up to allow more light in there, to allow you to have better, decision-making skills, because that's where all those things happen, right? That's where your feelings are, your decision-making skills are, and things of that nature. So I performed this treatment, and it was game-changing for me, right? In addition, I still have a really good relationship with a bunch of my patients or people, but I noticed there wasn't an avenue for men.
Yeah, it's tough.
And unfortunately, the men that came in, they couldn't handle it.
It's tough dealing with guys, man, especially with the standard that society projects on men. It's hard to become transparent and admit certain things and even decipher your emotions, because we're taught from young, especially our backgrounds, to where, emotions is equivalent to weakness. And I just feel like we're human. We're not gods. We are, but we're not. We're human.
Well, also, who set this standard?
That too.
Right? Who set this standard that, like,
That too.
I mean, I remember when I was young, right?
Yeah.
If you did a flip, you got yelled at because that was considered to be homosexual.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
It's ridiculous. And it's
like,
it's projection.
Right? Well, and it's going to start. It starts from a young age, and it's like it's like this ridiculous standard that's just impeded on people. And then we wake up and everybody wonders why their anxiety and depression level is
They're
so
going
high.
crazy, especially in the household. I'm noticing nobody wants to go home nowadays.
Why?
Because I feel like at home is where the trauma can start for a lot of people, regardless of what it is. Because you like you said, you're constantly under the needle of however your guardians grew up, whatever experience is what shapes us.
Yeah.
So your parents' experience is ultimately the experience that, so if your parents didn't have great experiences or have the experiences of being able to think for self and not necessarily falling under, worldly scrutiny, then they're going to project that on their kids. And now the kids have to leave the house at some point, and then that's where you just get mayhem. But yeah, I love this, especially like I said for men, because obviously women, they have free range to do whatever they want as far as on an emotional level without necessarily being critiqued. And men, yeah, we need an avenue to where we could admit our weaknesses and share our fears and weaknesses with other men. I find out a lot of us have the same fears and weaknesses.
A lot of them.
We all can identify by that.
Right.
So, yeah, I just feel like, that's part of why I love what we do. And I love even the feel of our studio, Greenleaf Studio. I love this idea that you started, Barbershop Talks, because that is really like a home for young boys coming up.
Again, it was a home for that's part of the reason why still as an adult, I still just enjoy going to the barbershop because it's like a home.
Absolutely.
That's always been. And it could be the best barbershop. It could be the old school barbershop. It could be, the barbershop that was still there 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I could go in there and not say a word, but I could still feel the connection, right? It's a commencement.
Yeah.
Right? It's a place where men can just be themselves, get together, look good, feel good,
yeah.
right? And leave and be able to shine.
Absolutely.
It's also a place for them not, right? It's also a place for them to get better, right? Look better, feel better by talking, expressing, putting their feet up, right?
They literally.
There's a huge thing. I mean, that's part of the reason why I got the Ottoman, because there's a huge statement by being able to go somewhere and put your feet up.
And relax.
Really.
Not so tense. Men have to be so tense. You're constantly fighting different battles or however life is going. Once you leave the home, it's just real tense. The barbershop is like,
they take care of you.
Yeah.
They take care of you.
Yeah.
Right? And, I was even talking with my brother Alex the other day, and we were, a barbershop is something I'll eventually probably open, I think.
Really?
Because it's just like, it's just something that I just always wanted. It was also something that my father was doing right before he died.
Okay.
And he didn't complete it, and it'd be cool to, do it like in
the name of him.
Yeah, in the name of him, just... And maybe that's also why I'm attracted to it.
That too.
Right? Like
that too.
Because it's just one of those feel-good places. But, we're like, it should be more of like a spa treatment, right? Like, again, I go get my nails done. And part of the reason why I go get my nails done is because if I didn't, I'd bite them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that's not always sanitary. Right? That's not. As young boys, we learn that's not cool. Our hands go on everything.
It's embarrassing, too.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Right? I'm 38 years old, damn near. And, I'm going to open the door for a nice young lady, and here's my fingers that look like I just chewed them.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's nasty.
Gross.
That's disgusting.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
and that's okay, right? That's upkeep.
Yeah,
that's maintenance.
Listen,
why would you not want to upkeep? I get that all the time. Why do you work out so much? When you get criticized for doing something constructive, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. Why do you do whatever you do that serves you no purpose? You can't criticize somebody for wanting to take care of themselves. It's unbelievable.
It's
so unbelievable. But back in the 90s, I don't know if I don't think those guys were probably getting their nails done, but just not saying nothing about it. Now it's more, guys are more open with that kind of stuff because they realize, dude, I want clean nails.
Well, also, what's wrong with maintaining yourself? What's wrong with, again, I go to facial.
Yeah.
Right?
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm going to give a shout out to my sister-in-law, Nicole, because, without Nicole, I'd probably be up Schitt's Creek without a paddle because my face wouldn't be as clean as it is. I don't have an esthetician, but she might as well be mine, right? She guides me. I'm not kidding.
That's
she
important.
guides me when it comes. She's guided me, when it's come to my face regimen. And
look good, baby, skin clear and all that. Yeah,
it was one of the first things that truly, as an adult, taught me how to take care of myself.
And that's important. That's the power of the opposite. There's pros and cons. They try to make it against man and woman, man, but that woman's gonna give you that softer touch. Listen, do this, because like I said, the stereotype with boys is come inside dirty every day, be rough,
but also
be aggressive.
Sure,
that's like.
But you'll have no balance.
None.
Right? You'll have no successful relationship in
Zero.
life without boundaries. Because you need a balance in anything that you do.
You think you what woman body part you gonna play with dirty ass nails? They ain't going for that. You trying to give her a yeast infection.
Nobody wants it.
Or
And they're
doing
looking at
foreplay. That's disgusting.
They're looking at it. I was looking at this post the other day, from Bethany Frankel, who I thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah.
But, she said they were referring to the ick. And I didn't even know this was such a thing, but like women have this, what they call an ick for men, where like it's certain things or one itty bitty thing that they might do, they're done with them. Done. Like I was reading the comments. One girl said, "I went out to breakfast with this guy. He ordered oatmeal. I was done." Finished.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah. That's a little impulsive. Like oatmeal. What's her?
Well, how do you even know? How do you even like? First of all,
what you want them to order? Like
I thoroughly
pancakes?
enjoy oatmeal, and I recently started eating it every day.
I love oatmeal
because I found out that like if there's a like for ADHD people, there's a better connection. You just work better.
Yeah. Have you seen it? Well, how long have you been doing it? Is it enough to tell?
I used to eat oatmeal a lot.
Yeah. I love oatmeal.
Like 5 years ago, and then I just kind of stopped because I don't know.
It gets boring after a while, and you have exquisite taste. You're a foodie.
I do.
So oatmeal's a little like
No, but you just gotta doctor up your oatmeal, right?
That too.
Like so, I do like some blueberries, some granola,
I like milk in mine.
I do like some good milk. There's this place in Hastings. They do like all the fruit, the milk, a little granola, a little cinnamon.
Damn.
I do like oatmeal. I was like, oh God. Well,
Jesus Christ.
but it made me second guess. I'm like, so I guess if I go out, I guess I got to order eggs and bacon and toast because that's the standard for a man to order at breakfast.
Yeah.
Right.
Oatmeal's like, what's good with this thing? What's wrong with him? Oatmeal.
I mean, it's heart healthy.
Yeah.
You don't know. You
don't know why he might work out. He might fiber. He might want to engage his brain. I mean, we know bacon is not the healthiest.
It's not the healthiest. But then there's that person that might judge you if you ordered the bacon.
Exactly. The problem with a lot of men because I want to be grammatically correct. Plural, it's R. I think singular is. The problem with a lot of men is there's not a lot of transparency going on. So you got guys at the highest level, men, that are, how do I want to put this? You got a lot of men at the highest level who act like some of the things that boys go through is abnormal. So, especially with social media, like nowadays, you'll see somebody on social media and, they'll have a strong presence on social media. And it's like, I might like what he's saying. I'm just always the person like, I want to know a little bit more. I want to know like, what moments defined you. That's more what I'm interested in. I'm not really, it's not a lot, because we're all creative players, because you have that we all take different things from different people, but I just, change the standard, because you'll find out that the standard is not really the standard, because that's not really how a lot of these guys are living and feeling in their everyday life.
Yeah. Well, there shouldn't be a standard.
Yeah, no, nothing's normal.
Nothing is normal.
Literally.
And, again, people fake it till they make it.
That's just insane.
Right? And I mean, where's their direction? Where's their cause, right? What is the, like, people are doing what they're told to do as opposed to what they want to do.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's mental slavery.
It's 100% mental slavery. And, I ask people this question, and I'm being 100% serious.
100%.
Right? And I at this point in my life, I think I'm pretty fortunate that I don't necessarily have to be anywhere particularly at any time.
Yeah,
right.
That's
Since
freedom.
I work for myself.
That's freedom.
I do not have to be any, and I really do appreciate that. And that is freedom. Not
absolutely.
everybody has that luxury. But I ask people this question, and I'm really curious. Do you feel like you're living or you're existing? Right.
Absolutely.
So you wake up every day. You go to 90% of people going to a job that they don't enjoy, but they have to, right? Because they got the bills.
100%.
Because they got the bills.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely.
And you have to maintain the bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And life happens, so you can't necessarily do what you want. You got to wake up. You got to take that shower. You got to brush your teeth. You got to comb your hair. You got to make your coffee, you got to make your lunch, right? And again, at what point, at where does it come in that of the things that you want to be doing, right? You're going to wait until Friday and Saturday, to do it for those 7 hours because that's your freedom.
Yeah.
And then, you'll wait for the 2 weeks.
you get a little
for your
vacation days.
And then that's, but then you're going to go back to this misery. And we think that this is living. I'm sorry. I beg to differ. I think that's existing.
I mean, you got guys saying, I'm just going to stay out, myself included, because that is my format. But as far as like where my mind goes, I've seen men say, I'm just going to stay at this miserable place for 30 years and retire when I'm 62, and then I'll travel and stuff. And the problem with that is, like I said, back to that projection and back to these standards. We don't have enough people, not saying we're slaves, but we don't have enough people and enough men that want to free the slaves. As far as a lot of times it's, this is my test. I got the answers. I'm going to hide this over here. Mm-hmm. You don't have enough people explaining, like, by the time, could you imagine if we would have had these mindsets as kids and the goal would be to be free, use your time how you want. This is the process. You have to find your niche and try to create a life based upon your passion, not necessarily these systems that America, because we're all, born here, most of us, puts in play for us. Go to school, 0 through high school, go to college, find a job. These are all pipe dreams.
And you may not succeed. I mean, I wasn't your typical kid in high school or middle school.
Yeah.
When it came to, schooling, right?
Yeah.
It took me longer, I feel like, to learn things, and I'm far from stupid. I just wasn't conducive to that normalcy.
Yeah.
Right? And like that never worked for me.
It's misery. It's
misery.
There's not a lot of happy guys, happy men that are just happy with their lives as far as the direction that there's going. Now, like I said, with social media, you get a chance to see parts of different people's lives. So you got a lot of people chasing after it now in their 30s, when it's like, imagine if you would have started as a child, if somebody, gave you these ideas of, instead of putting that passion into necessarily America, because America's going to get theirs regardless, put that into yourself. You go to school, you go to college, you do all of these things just to contribute back to the system that was designed to keep you as an employer rather than living as a boss.
You also got to be a thinker outside the box.
Absolutely.
Right? You have to, and that's great. There are people who just, that works for them.
That's their thing.
Yeah, that works for them. And then there are some people, and they may be happy.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Or
content.
Yeah. Right?
Content.
Which is a very good word that you brought up. Because, like, being content is definitely not being happy.
Content is, right? They're almost miserable.
Yeah.
Content is just settling. It's a settling mindset.
Yeah. Right? And I think that's a lot.
This is what it is. I'll get used to it.
You settle.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's okay to settle on, I don't know.
Temporarily.
It's okay to settle on the black car instead of the white car.
Yeah, that's
right?
different.
It's it's okay to settle on I don't know, this pillow versus that, whatever it is. But when it comes to your
life.
when it comes to your life, and that's what I don't think we actually realize, right? Like,
our grandparents don't realize it.
but I still feel like in some ways, to a certain degree, they still did what they wanted versus like what they had. They did what they had to do, but they also did what they wanted to do in some degree.
Well, back then also, a lot of these jobs, the way society was set up, a lot of these jobs was enough. If you had a job at sanitation in the 80s, you could buy a house.
Yeah.
That's not going to cut it in today's society.
No.
You work a job at sanitation, you'd be struggling in a one bedroom. You know, the way society is set up now. And then if you factor in having a family, a lot of times circumstance too. People base their life beyond circumstance. Their circumstance controls the narrative and the direction of their entire life as if it can't be changed. And it takes time.
Yeah. Well, also people, and there are a lot of people who just don't like change. So once they get in that job, that's it.
That's
done.
it. I'm stuck here.
I'm stuck.
That's laziness too. That's you have guys with a high work ethic at this job, but outside when they have to pour into themselves, they don't know. It takes, but that's also too.
That's their identity.
That's back. Yes. That's back to not also being able to come clean about a lot of insecurities and different things that you're going through because you're really fearful to have to think on your own and invest that time and put a format into yourself. A lot of people are scared to do that. They'd rather somebody else format it for them like a 9 to 5. It tells you when to be here, how many days you can take off. So you could just do that and just excel there and hit your ceiling and then
you know what you're gonna get, and you don't have to do any hard work.
Nothing.
You don't ever have to have the uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, or adversity, right? Like with yourself. Unless which is there's no growth. Again,
zero.
You're okay with just like maintaining at this weird level.
We kings,
excuse
man.
me, that wasn't correct. That's
I get what you mean. Yeah, but we're kings. Like we deserve it, but deserve that word. I'm very, very, very weary of that word because you have to be willing to work for what you feel like you deserve as well. There's difference between I deserve this, but what are you willing to do to get there?
Yeah.
You know,
you got to make a sacrifice.
You have to make a sacrifice. What are you willing to give up? Are you willing to give up unnecessary spending?
Yeah.
Are you willing to give up running around chasing girls? Because that's the quickest way for a man to go broke.
Yeah, you jump out of the window.
Quick.
I've jumped out of the window one too many times, and it's landed me right back on my ass.
Yeah, especially if, like I said, that's what our society deems as a man. You're the man if you deal with a lot of women. Because getting money, I don't feel like is the man statistic. I think that's just part of being a man. Period. Providing. Providing. But because I'm not one of them. Listen, I don't think money is everything. Money's definitely important. Money's like
an option.
It's yes, it's a tool. But it's like women and who's tough, who had the most fights. Our definition of men, of what a man is, it changes, I guess, amongst cultures and environments.
Yeah,
and
100%.
That's not what really makes a man. If you can face all the adversity in the world in the street, but when it's time to elevate your life, you're weak. You're gonna tap out.
You have to.
You had a bad day on the block selling crack and you know what? I didn't sell as much crack today. That don't mean you're not gonna not come outside tomorrow. You might actually go to the next hood and get your shit off over there.
You might not go in.
You might not go in. But now, let's just say like the podcast. If you don't get the reaction that you're looking for, are you just gonna tap out or are you gonna keep going?
Try again, right? Like
reinnovate.
Like
whatever
it's
it
like
is.
the little engine that could.
Yeah.
Right. Like as we, you don't just give up.
You don't just give up.
Right. Like. You saw Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Right? You said, you don't just give up for that. That's your dog. That's your responsibility.
What? Just give up. That's weak. So we measure strength. It's just
there's no correct meter.
There's none.
Right? And then and there's this Yiddish word my mother would use. It's called unkapachget. It's like random. It's all over the place. Right, and that's kind of how I feel like it is. It's just like completely unkapachget when it comes to a measuring scale, and it's it's hard to be, let's just say, your best self if you don't know where you're going, or even if you don't know where the hell you came from.
Yeah, that too.
Right? And we don't want to, again, have that uncomfortable conversation or that digging or that uncomfortability, a lot of us men, because it may, like you said, uncover some insecurities that
you wouldn't be like, not me, I don't go through that. You kidding me? And you might not have this, it's energy, right? So I say, you'll have, well, before I get to that, did you see Balto? You remember that movie? Balto, the dog. It's a Disney movie way back in the 90s. But you just said something as far as knowing where you came from. So Balto was a dog in a society. He was a stray dog. He had no owner. And he didn't really know what he was. He had a connection to wolves. So anytime he seen a wolf, he would get like this feeling, and his bark was different. And he didn't realize like his father was part wolf. So he's doing things and not acting like a regular dog, and people are looking at him like, what the hell is this thing? And he had no identity. He had no clue. When I try to bark like a dog, it sounds like a howl. Why is my intuition, a wolf and a dog, completely different animals, completely different mindsets as far as intuition, like wild and domestic is, totally different. So he didn't understand like how he had these instincts until he realized, I'm part wolf. So I say that to say, dude, a lot of us, we don't know where we came from.
We don't know where we came from.
Especially me. Like I said, my dad died when I was 5. Yeah. So now I can only hear stories, and I probably won't get the complete story from my mom because, once you add emotion, sometimes that'll deflect character. You won't even be able to tell me who he was. You can only tell me who he was to you. Yeah. So it's like it's just nasty, and that's why I feel like conversations like this need to be broadcast, especially for men. Like, you'd be surprised how relatable you are to somebody.
Surprised.
You'd be fucking surprised, kid.
I've been in therapy for, 2 years now. Yeah. Right. I have a great therapist, and when we first started with like identifying, right? Self-awareness,
that's
learning how to identify yourself, learning who you truly are, right? Mm-hmm. And that was one of her biggest things that she suggested. So my father died when I was 6, right?
Yeah.
And, I have a relationship with my father's family, but we're not that close.
Right.
And even like my grandparents, who are both still alive on my father's side.
Oh, wow.
They live in South Carolina. And I mean, I'm horrible, but I haven't seen them in years, right?
Yeah.
And my therapist suggested I reach out to them. Yeah. She said, you need to reach out to them. You need to establish a better relationship with them. And she said, because there's questions that you may have down the line, and they may be the only people that can answer them now.
Yeah.
About yourself, right? Like, I started balding when I was probably 20 years old. I don't know where that came from, right? Yeah. I don't know I don't think that came from my mother's side. Maybe it came from my father's side, but again, it's just like a simple question or like that.
Yeah.
How would I know?
Yeah.
Right? Like, how would I know how would I know? Maybe I'm going to get diabetes in 7 years. And I don't see it coming because I didn't do my research about me. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm in a way I'm kind of letting myself down. And she was 100% correct. And as life happens, let's just say I didn't make the true effort at first, but life just kind of threw the situation in my lap where I haven't seen them yet, but where we've communicated more, and it's kind of eye-opening. Yeah. Right? Like And you feel a better connection, 100%. Right? Like, and we started this treatment in therapy. It's called IFS. Again, part of like self-discovery. It's called internal family solutions, right?
Yeah.
And we started with a word, right? Like we started with a word of something that I wanted to work on myself with. Like, okay. So let's just say consistency. So I wanted to be more consistent, let's just say. And, we started to kind of dissect the word, but I don't even know how this happened, really. But it ended up with me as a 6-year-old on the day that my father died, right? Like on the middle of Warburton, like stuck, frozen, right? Like, but and this was the whole point, is like I connected with my younger self, right? And I
believe it. I'm
on
very
my
in
life,
tune. Like, yeah.
it was like some maybe insecurities, unanswered questions, feelings I had, whatever. Like and I mean she dug deep, right? Like we went 30 minutes past what we were supposed to. We got some serious questions, answers that day. In that first day, that like I was like,
yeah,
it helped me to
not
better
easy.
understand my relationship with my mother, right? Like it was like crazy. It was like just insane how like because it's a remembrance, it's an experience, and we have this habit, and it wasn't, maybe it was like a bad thing, but I didn't really feel like it was. But I put it in my subconscious.
Yeah, no.
I put it in my back, like it was like, I mean, my therapist kind of had to like pull this out, but it was eye-opening, right? And it helped me to better direct myself as to where I was now going in life.
And that's important. I feel like a lot of times, you use the word secrets, but when certain members of the family go off, it's like a certain part of the book dies with them. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like now that I'm older, we talk, especially as for a man, we're talking about lineage. I don't want my kids to go through that as far as not knowing. So I just feel like families, and mainly men, need to lead those types of discussions with family, because you are who you adopt your own ways and you're influenced by what you see, but certain shit is just in you from your parents.
Because life happens.
That too. So you need to know, or you'll just go outside on this quest to find what you already have in here.
You just got to look for it.
You got to look for it.
You got to be ready.
You're powerful once you find it.
And you got to, and this is what was crazy. And this is another thing that I learned to do in therapy that I never really learned to do, was listen to myself.
Absolutely.
Right? And like, I would get annoyed with my therapist at first, right? Because she's like, what is yourself telling you? I'm like, I don't know. Like I hear the background noise, right? Like
that takes some time.
It was almost like learning to pay attention to detail.
Big time. Details matter.
Details matter.
Punctuation, everything matters. One missed detail or it changes the whole entire topic, narrative.
Period.
Changes the whole shit. One word changes everything.
I used to, when I worked for my uncle at Chick-fil-A, he's no joke. Okay? And he'd say, Curtis, what do you see when you walk into the store? I'm like, chicken? Like people? Like the lights? Nah. He's like, that light back there's been out for about 3 weeks. That sign has been crooked for about 7 days. I walked past it. I've been here about 14 times in those 7 days. I walked past it 28 times. I saw you walk past it 8, Cassandra walked past it 7, and Jeff walked past it 5. Nobody noticed.
People like that, a lot of the average human is going to run from that. They can't handle that because that gets perceived as, in today's society, as being a stickler, nitpicking, a perfectionist, when it's like, it's natural. When I love something, you pay attention to things by accident. So it's not that I'm looking for it. A lot of the stuff I discover mentally is not that I look for it. It's just in my overall makeup. When's his birthday?
He's July, oh my God. July 15th.
Is that, what sign? Is that Cancer?
Leo.
So
no, yeah.
Very, And it's also...
Maybe it is a Cancer.
Because Cancer, I'm a water sign, too. I'm a Pisces. So it's like, I'm
very... Because my mom's the 27th, but I don't think she's...
I'm very in tune. So that type of shit, I go through shit like that, where it's like, okay, even in the house, like I'll notice the slightest, I'll notice a fucking hairball this big. Yeah. Just by accident. It's not that I'm looking for it. It's just, I don't know, it's a natural eye that you really need out here, because you'll realize you won't even know a person until you start paying attention to those little details, patterns.
Yeah.
What do you talk about? What stimulates your conversation? What gets certain levels of reaction? As a man, these are all tools to help you navigate through life.
Yeah.
It's not just go to school, get a degree, start a family, pay the bills, this, that, and the third. Yeah, you can do all of those things, but if you plan on being internally happy, you gotta be aware. You gotta know when to shut it off.
You have to be aware. You have to be aware.
You have to.
Period.
Being weak is not, it's celebrated. I always say it. It's like, we're in a society where listen, not that we don't have weak moments, because that's not what I'm saying. However, people enjoy the process from healing than actual healing. Because if you're healed, you're not gonna, you may not always get the most attention. People who aren't healed get the most attention. Everybody's always trying to make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
And, oh, are you good? Or put them in a situation to feel like a victim of something, when it's like, no. We got to get to a place where now we can now get in tune with who we are and what we want out of life, not just fucking healing from nonstop traumas.
That's it. I mean, again, life was made to be simple, right? Every single thing that we need to survive is right here.
Yeah,
and we don't need any money.
Being human is dope.
We don't need, no, it's really dope.
Being human is
right?
dope.
This experience that we are experiencing right now is, it's incredible. And we're at a time that it's even more incredible in so many ways.
Different
right?
ways,
I mean, the technology is soaring, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, people are ascending. The Earth is ascending, right?
Yeah.
We're in the alien disclosure, which I'm so stinking happy, and I always knew this would happen.
Yeah. I think I'm an alien, part alien.
We all are.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on who you ask that tells you, but like, you know, we are a makeup of aliens. And I'll tell you something. I've always had I always just been one of those people who I just could never stop thinking, right? And life just never, ever made sense to me, right? It's from a little boy, I was always trying to figure out why, what was like, what the hell were the point of us?
Yeah.
And like, how this all just became one.
Are we in a bubble? Are we an experiment?
Right? 100%. But it wasn't until I started to do my like real research about aliens, and I started to get really into aliens, because, you know, 10 years ago, there was not half as much information out on aliens as there were 5 years ago, right? And so as I started to find out more about aliens, and I realized that aliens are just us, people may think I'm crazy, 50,000 years in advance. I swear, everything made sense to me.
And that's all that matters.
Everything I was like, oh, that's it.
Everything doesn't make sense until it does.
Yeah, I mean, things still don't make sense. Let me rephrase that, right? But like where we came from, that.
Yeah, especially in our culture, like aliens. What the fuck? Like, we know dust heads. We don't know aliens. Like, aliens to us were guys who did drugs.
Well, because if again, I've been talking about aliens for about like out loud for about 7 years.
Really?
And even my family looked at me like I had 7 heads, right?
Yeah.
Right? Really. It was only my mother would like, she'd listen, but like she still thought I was low-key crazy.
Absolutely.
She just wasn't going to say it.
Yeah, your son.
But everybody else was like, okay, Curtis, you know, the aliens, it's the aliens, right? Like making fun, right? But the truth of the matter is, 90% of what I said was the God's honest truth. Yeah. And again, anybody could feel how they want to feel about aliens.
Absolutely.
Extraterrestrials, but this is who we are. We are a being, right? And so are they, right? And we're a makeup of multiple different aliens as an experiment. 100%.
Okay.
I totally believe it.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not quite, as sharp on the alien tip, but I do believe in other sources of life outside of us and, the animals that, everything that's documented. Because, they're not telling us everything. They and that's why I feel like God blessed us with senses. It's not, You're not going to see everything. Some shit is meant to feel.
Well, also, again, it's about an ascension. So there are some things that could be right here, right, that you may not see because it's in a, like, it's something that we can't comprehend, let's just say, and or it's like they can come in and out of like a black hole kind of deal, right? Where there's
it can come out of anything, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, right. And we like, it sounds crazy because it hasn't happened to us, right? Like, or we haven't seen it in person. But the truth of the matter is,
all the signs are there.
Yeah. You ever see what's that movie like Constellation? About like,
I remember that word though in elementary school, constellation, to stars and all that shit.
So this, so it's like
comets and all that shit.
Space, whatchamacallit dude who's up in space and he gets into there's like a wreck of some kind and he saves his partner and he thinks that he's dying and he falls into a black hole. And when he falls into this black hole, he just falls. And then eventually he just stops, right? But when he stops, he's in like the Matrix, right? And he's just in like this kind of black tunnel, but surrounded by him is the Matrix. And he can see, it's like he's in the wall, right there, behind the wall. And he is looking into his house and he sees his wife and everything that's going on in real time.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is it's like a different dimension.
I mean, look at technology. If you would have told, like I said, well, not the people who, because I mean, like I said, there's a secret society, obviously, who all of this shit is written out. Like the shit that's going on, I feel like a lot of it, maybe not all, because you know how like when you sell a product, it always says 99.9% that you can't say 100% because that, you know, it's always that small percentage of not. But I mean, if we would have talked about this studio, if somebody in 6th grade would have told me anything about building something like this, I would have thought they were an alien. You know, so I mean,
that's true.
It's basically, it'd been like, what? You're gonna do what? What? I didn't even know the word podcast existed when I was in 6th grade.
I didn't know what the hell podcast.
Is that a new word?
I didn't know what podcast meant before COVID, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't know. Me neither.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
Alex is like, it's a podcast. I'm like,
what the fuck is that? Broadcast? Like podcast or pod? What's the pod?
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, because it wasn't a thing.
It wasn't.
I mean, like,
it evolved, and over time, it only evolves now. And like I'm not big on. I love the way things have progressed and over the years. The problem is humans. There's only so, as a human, I just feel like you're limitless. But I just feel like now humans are trying to like, I don't know, we're using the humanly feel. Like we were born to feel things. Like we're born to feel. Like why are we trying to not feel?
Because we think that material things are gonna compensate those feelings.
What's under there? What's under that silk shirt?
You know, it's like shopping therapy.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. Listen, live whatever.
I mean, maybe. But you want to know something? After the shopping,
you're qualified to say that. So you're somebody who I will respect that from, because a lot of times people would downgrade things that they can't do. Yeah. So it's not that they think there's something wrong with it. They're not in the position to be able to do it. So they say, oh yeah, that doesn't really mean anything. It's like, well, when you have that leisure or that option, then I want to see how you feel. Because there's a difference between by force and then when you have options. That's when I judge people. When you have options, how are you going to move? Versus when you don't. When you don't have that option, you're
stuck
to a circumstance.
Yeah.
Versus, I don't really have to fuck with you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You might not say fuck me if you needed me.
Well,
maybe, but that hasn't been proved. Because I've seen a lot of men especially turn themselves down extreme notches for the sake of not ruffling the boss's feathers. I've seen that. And the boss could be completely wrong at the same time.
I'm sure I've done it.
Well, at the same time, too, different levels require different things. So you're not even going to see what this guy has to go through. It's a lot. That's why communication is just, I feel like, connects all barriers and with all walks of life when you communicate. Because it's like, okay, you're going through you didn't make, a go through for you might be, I forgot to replenish my favorite coffee and now I have to run back out. Yeah. That might fuck your algorithm up.
It's annoying, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
because,
really.
And then for me, it might be, they docked me one day's pay because it was a day after a holiday. So it's not that it was the same situation, but we have that both same feeling of annoyance, and that's why we're relatable. Yeah. Not that we live the same type of lives. Our feelings are identical.
100%.
Just different experiences pull out those feelings.
And we need to be, and that's
more conscious of that. So it's not about, he don't live in a hood. He ain't going through nothing. Dude, this motherfucker could almost lost his house.
You don't know anything.
He might have to downgrade houses. Who the fuck am I? Say because he's not standing on the block, he ain't got no pain.
Again, people have no clue, right, what anybody is going through. Right?
Zero.
I have one of my greatest family members ever, recently told me some gut-wrenching news about her, right? I'm like, I made myself sick over it. I'm not kidding. Yeah. Literally.
I believe
in addition, it's completely, I haven't even been able to sleep correctly since. I'm not kidding, because it totally, it just affects my entire being.
Yeah, no clue. Whatever.
No clue. It's like a Mack truck, right? Like a Tuesday at a 4 p.m. just hit you like a Mack truck.
That's crazy.
And and you don't know. You don't and you could have everything that the world may tell you that you want or need, right? Society, it could look great because, again, we live in a society where if you got the hottest kicks, you got the nice shoe, you got the nice pants, you got a good shirt, you're cleaned up, you feel good, then there's an assumption that and again,
you're fine.
Yes, and don't get me wrong, you need to look good
in
order to feel good, right? As Annie was one of my favorite movies growing up. You never fully dressed without a smile.
Absolutely.
But a lot of us fake this smile, right? I mean, sometimes
you can see it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's been hard for me to fake the smile sometimes, right? Because when I want to fake the smile, I think about the reality of what's going on, and I can't fake the smile.
And you don't have to fucking smile.
It's too real to fake the smile.
You're not gonna smile every day.
Yeah. But it's good. It's healthy, right? It's healthy. And if you don't smile and you just let everything get to you, you'll be up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, right?
Forever.
So you gotta have a balance, and you gotta understand. But that's also why, like you said, it's good for the communication. But that's also why it's really good to have a support system, right?
Yes.
It's really good to know that you could go somewhere like the Barbershop, right, or like Ace, right, like the men's
Ace
group,
Summit,
and
Dave.
just kind of be able to put your feet up, right, and just say what it is that's kind of going on, or just talk about it. Right, it makes it
100%. You need
100% better.
It's essential.
I didn't have therapy this week. I'll tell you. Every week I have therapy. I feel like a weight's lifted off my shoulders after therapy, or the reset button's been hit on me. Where all right, I got this. Right.
You need that.
And it's not that I don't have it. It's just my therapist for the past 2 years has been the biggest support system in so long, right? And has given me a pathway to myself that I didn't even know that I had.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's incredible, right? I look forward to it. It's my feel good.
Everything's about maintenance.
Everything.
So you get a new car, eventually you're gonna have to change the tire. Eventually you're gonna have to change the brakes.
Yeah, I got to change the brakes and the tires on the Tesla. By the way, that's annoying.
That thing, I just drove in that thing. That thing, it stopped. It looked good to me,
but that's the thing. It looked good.
you got to get them done. So
You
it's
know?
the same thing, I think, with humans. It's with us on the inside. We have to maintain. We have to do things that maintain that. You're going to drop your car off at the shop. They're going to put it on a lift and change your brakes. Well, put yourself on a lift, inspect. Oh, this is why. And it's some things you can't change too.
Yeah.
So once you realize that, like, oh.
But you got to accept them. You got to know that they're there.
Accept it, and it's okay.
Yeah.
And we all have these fears. We all want to feel whole. We all want to be enough.
Yeah.
We all feel like sometimes we're not enough.
Yeah.
So it's good to have 10 other or however many people like-minded who are just looking for some sort of stability in that moment and finding stabilities in other people's trauma and realizing, wow, there are people who go through these same moments of doubt like me.
Yeah, I mean, life is going
What
to
the
happen.
fuck?
Yeah,
I hate
all the
it.
time.
It disgusses me how it is. 'Cause
And we,
you can't.
why should we be separated?
Yeah.
Why don't we come together, right, and shine?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like, you know, I keep saying like life should be simple, and it should, right? The love is the answer, and like if we do not, you know, fulfill the room with enough love, right? We need to fill it with love. We need to, you know, embrace and accept people, right? You know, there's this TikTok thing going on. It's like we listen and we don't judge. You know, and like we've made a mockery out of this, but that's the God's honest truth. We should always listen and we should never judge.
Because-
and at what point do we think that it's okay for us to judge? Because listen, I mean, again, and we've all done it, right? We've all judged
Absolutely.
and we've all done those kinds of things, but
Realistically
life is
speaking,
real.
everybody has something that the next man is saying, "Oh, I can never be me." Period.
Yeah, but that's you don't know that.
So at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. There's parts of my life that I'm sure some people would skip, just like I would skip certain parts of some other people's life. That shouldn't be the deciding factor in our relationship. We understand that we both have ways, and let's come together, man. Let's come together. It's like I said, let's not the ego. Like I said, it's hard. I know for me, like. I know with me, I get a lot of, because like I said, I say it all the time, confidence is like, a lot of men aren't confident at their core. They're not. You can dress it up. You can put on 1,000,000 costumes. And when I say costume, I don't mean that literally. I mean that, you know, figuratively. Like at their core, at their root, there's a lot of, somebody's yelling help way
Insecurities.
down there. You can't even hear it. So much shit stacked on top of it that little boy that was screaming help, you can't even hear him no more.
No.
And that's dangerous.
Well,
That's how
and
you
that's,
end up
again,
hurting
you got to
people.
dig deep. You got to
You gotta
understand. You got to
dig.
connect. You know, part of what we did in IFS was I connected with that little boy,
Yeah.
right? I connected with that little boy on Warburton Avenue, stuck, right?
And
He
it's
was
painful.
frozen.
Healing hurts.
Are you kidding?
Especially the beginning stage. You first get a surgery, they give you pills and medicine and shit like that to get it hurts. So it's gonna be like that internally. But you want to get to the point where whatever you're deficient, whatever you lack, or whatever you feel like you lack, or whatever you can't change, dude, you accept it to the point where, because the world can't wait to tell you about where you come short at. They can't wait.
Oh yeah, they're waiting for that.
Once you accept it yourself and you don't allow it to be weaponized, you'll be the most strongest version of yourself that there is. When you can't use my life to hurt me, especially if it's something that I did it. If I don't like it, I changed it. I have to accept it. Like you said, the first step, identify. A lot of people don't even want to identify the root of whatever the trauma is. Where did it start?
Like,
I don't know. Well, why don't you take a day to figure that out?
well, because it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt, and it's
Right?
like once you
Oh,
feel
it's
out,
not gonna be
oh
easy.
no, I'm not ready.
It's not gonna be easy.
No, it's not gonna be
and,
easy.
you know, it takes time. You know, I didn't just therapy wasn't just you know, we didn't just go into IFS on the 5th day of knowing my therapist, right? It took a whole year almost.
Yeah.
Right? Like to gain that trust, to gain
Absolutely.
that rapport. And for my therapist to actually understand me. And I'll tell you, and this I never told anybody, right? But I'll tell you, I'll say it on this podcast. So, my brother did something that pissed me off. And I was annoyed. And I told my therapist, right? This is what even started the IFS. And my therapist said, "Are you kidding? I think you're just annoyed because you didn't have control in the situation." I said, what?
That's a dope therapist. A lot of therapists don't do that.
I said, what?
Wow.
She said, Alex didn't do anything wrong, right? He didn't do anything wrong. He did exactly what he was supposed to. You just didn't like the outcome. And you didn't like the fact that you didn't have control over the situation. You're wrong.
That's important.
I said,
I like her.
She said, how long are you going to let this go on for? What? She said, better yet, what's the point of letting this go on for? I didn't have an answer for her.
Yeah, I'm drawn to that type of shit.
I did not. She, and this was the first time, and for my entire relationship with my therapist up until now, she's like, I almost thought she was a yes man, right?
Yeah.
She would just like agree with a lot
Yeah,
everything I
was
said.
going to ask you about that.
This is the first time she said, "Oh no, you're wrong. He's right." I don't know what you're thinking. And again, how long are you going to let this go on for? And what is the point? What you going to like?
That's also shout out to you too for giving her the details of whatever the situation was that led her to that outcome, and you just didn't. Because a lot of times, like I said, people start when they're talking about things that they don't like, they start on page 50. They only really talk about what was said to them, what was done to them. Very rarely do they start off well.
I mean, Alex really didn't do anything. She was right.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's important. I'm drawn to those type of people. Because you also have people who want to go against you just naturally just because it's you. Like they trying to search ways for you to be wrong. But then you have those genuine people that are like, nah, that ain't right. And those are the people you need around you. And you'll be lucky if you find those type of people. Because those type of people don't exist. There's a lot of that activity going on. A lot of friendships are built behind feelings that are falsified because you can't even really, you're playing an act. You can't even tell this person how you really feel about them. And then that's when the deceit comes and it just gets real nasty after that when it's like, we're supposed to be, if I really care about you, then I why the fuck would I not want to pull you up about some shit that I'm just not comfortable with you doing for the sake of you, not for me. I love you. Why? It doesn't come with just compliments and roses, but that's how we market love. Love is a market. It's a business. You have Valentine's Day about to come up, and really somebody that invests that level of attention, that's gold. That's Bitcoin.
That's huge.
In human form.
That's huge.
Bitcoin.
And you know what? But it told me a lot about myself too.
Yeah.
Because like when normally in a situation, if I get annoyed, I would kind of shut down in a way, and I kind of just,
I ain't seen her a couple of weeks.
myself.
Give her a break.
Right? I just isolate myself,
Yeah.
right? But by her bringing that to my attention, I never isolated myself from my therapist. But by her bringing that to my attention, it made me realize, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Right? And you, not only are you wrong, but you're an asshole for then trying to portray it otherwise. But then you would try to just like, be in a funk because you thought you were right. You're an asshole.
That's what being a man is about, though. Right? Honestly,
like,
that's a manly characteristic.
But it also taught me like, if I get in a situation like that, I'm not shutting down proves to me that I'm wrong now. Right?
Okay, so you identify if you want to shut down, that's when you're wrong.
90%.
Okay.
9 times out of 10, I'm wrong.
Okay.
Right? Because it's a deflection of some kind. Yeah. Right? And I just didn't want to deal with it. Deflection. And she was probably right.
Yeah.
No, she wasn't probably right. She was right. I didn't have control over the situation, and I was annoyed.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well,
and I never looked at it like that.
I feel like that's a lot of humans. I mean, if you go read somebody's journal, the whole journal is about how people made them feel. People very rarely journal about themselves.
Yeah.
It's like to me that it's self first. I need to reflect on my actions first. What part did I play? Because I don't have to play a part. It's always a choice.
Yeah.
As a man, I don't have to indulge. So I just feel like, do self-improvement. No, it's hard to put yourself in the chop shop. It's hard. It's tough when you got to look at yourself because then sometimes you'll see shit you don't even recognize. No, that's not me. Well, at this moment it was.
Yeah.
And that's okay. There's
well,
no way. There's no. You
it.
can't point when you're in the mirror. You can point up, down. You point at your regard. I might be pointing at my head 1 minute. If I point down, I'm pointing at my toe. I come up. That's the knee. This the waist. No matter where you market it, what finger you want to use, all roads lead back to me.
That's you.
Yeah,
that is you, and you have to. You can change.
You can,
but you have to accept.
That's it.
You have to accept those choices that you may have made and those maybe consequences or decisions.
What comes with it? What stigmas? Right? What judgments?
Yeah.
Based upon your actions.
Yeah.
Like, we're not that this. So how did you get here? How did you get here? Okay, I got here, so I have to take whatever comes with it. Whereas though, like I said, men have a harder time with that because women can easily diverge their self-growth through men. If a man, like I said, like I told her, if a man does it, when men seek women for validation and upliftment and things like that, I don't know what the word is, he's everything under the sun. A woman can kind of just not do work on herself and find a man that'll just kind of tolerate. A man, it's just not really in our culture and our makeup to be able to do that without being some sort of...
But you know, I don't think we could be our best self without women.
Absolutely not. We were made, clearly we were made...
With women.
With women. So 100%.
And like, I mean, women...
It shouldn't be that way, but now it's just fucked up because you got a lot of women. Social media. And it's not, I can't keep blaming social media because...
but it's a big culprit.
Once you get older, this thing is strong and people waste this. Yeah. They don't use it. We see something and give it no thought. This is what I saw and that's it.
You know what I do respect though?
What's that?
I don't know the last time I took a social media break. You?
No, I haven't. And I do remember 2000. I took 2014. I took another one in 2012. But there was motives behind it. Okay. It wasn't like I wanted to do it. It was different shit going on.
But I do respect a female that takes a social media break.
So, a lot of times, I know how it went. So, I mean, because sometimes when a woman takes a social, it depends. Okay, if you're taking a social media break to really get in the divineness, because being a woman is really special. Like women, they're capable of, they're very complex, amazing creatures. Like they can do things no man can do. Like their strength is really internal. Whereas though a man's strength is external. That's how it's marketed. Like they have to, having a baby, are you fucking, no man in the fucking world could bear that pain.
Well, like, they've done those like.
Yeah, nah. And even still, giving birth, opening your body up, women go through a lot.
Yeah.
I just feel like God, I believe in a higher power. He purposely leaves a lot of room for free will. Nothing's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
So there's a certain level that you're going to have to do on your own. So as a woman, if you're looking to be divine and get into the essence of really being what a woman is, because you have some people who think God is a woman, the way God's described, like God could possibly be a woman, or maybe not God, Jesus. Like something on the lines of that. I'm not big on that.
Yeah.
But then that's different. If so, it depends what the motive. If it's for that solely reason, to dive into the soul and really understand your power, a woman at this could do anything. They just, a lot of this, the logical piece, they're built off a lot of feelings, and sometimes it doesn't identify with what's going on. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. But if you just can't pay your phone bill, or you just went through a breakup,
we're not talking about that.
That type of shit. Like, there's a lot of reasons why a woman to get off social media is like, I was just living. I got a new man. I don't want to. Women just do a lot of. And I'm really not even with gender, because nowadays men are doing a lot of things women are doing. So it's like, as far as
100%.
Yeah, so it's just like women out here taking care of men. There's a lot of shit going on.
Well, as it should be.
As it should.
Right? Like
as it should.
That's a healthy.
That's a super healthy.
That's a healthy relationship when there's no real like gender based.
No.
I mean, of course the woman's not going to take out the garbage, but like.
Yeah, no. I mean, I just saw a woman, and I don't know what the circumstance, and it depends what's going on. Like, naturally, No, yes. If your husband's going to check out one of you guys' properties to collect rent from one of the tenants, then yeah, you go and take it out. You know, you shouldn't miss garbage day because your husband's not home.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I watched a couple women, not really black women, not because black women, you know, they have their strengths and others, but I see a lot of white women and Asian women shoveling the driveway. Not saying it's right, cleaning off their car. I saw a couple white ladies cutting the grass. And one time I was flagging Laxley. I said, why are you cutting the grass? She was like, oh, no, my husband, he'll be back. He had to go do X, Y, and Z, and I wanted to cut. And I said, wow, that's dope.
My sister-in-law will cut. She'll help.
That's fucking dope.
Cut the grass.
And listen, that's how you really build. Because if you're just connecting based upon love, it's going to be hard to sustain that. It's going to be hard just love alone versus we're partners. You need a life partner. You need a life partner.
To do everything and anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and know that that partner's got your back in anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Oh, so we do. I'm there.
You know, you got a reserve tank in your Tesla just in case. Well, you charge it, but in cars you got a reserve tank just in case you can't make it to a gas station and this tank goes here. You have something else to rely on. So yeah, we might have gotten into a fight the night before. But we got this business meeting we got to go to in the morning. So now it's like we're going to connect on that level, give this a break. Okay, now we got to go get the kids. Now it's dinner time. So it's other crutches that's going to hold the fort up when other avenues fail at that moment. Yeah. You know?
And I mean, that's
diversify your portfolio.
It's about building a life.
Absolutely.
Right? And versus just like these, I don't know.
It's fucked up, though. Like humans, we're in a bad place.
Bullshit. So, I mean, again,
perfect way. I hate surface level everything.
Yeah, but that's a connection to social media, right? So social media it's a popularity contest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And again, I think people forgot this, right? Facebook was designed for college students to network, right? That's initially how it started,
really?
right?
Okay.
You couldn't. When Facebook was first created, you couldn't join Facebook without having, edu kind email address, right?
Okay,
you couldn't if it wasn't associated to a university or a college or something of that nature.
They didn't want it.
You couldn't have a regular email address signing up for it, right? But okay, cool. It evolved. Instagram came, right? Instagram was kind of a nothing, right?
Yeah, Snapchat,
and do you
Facebook.
Remember how Instagram became popular?
The videos?
No. It was pictures of food. That's how it started, right? Really, to get well known was pictures of food, right? But it really started with one particular item, and this is what helped it blow up. It was the unicorn frappuccino from stinking Starbucks.
Really?
And it looked good, and it took a really good picture, and you could go viral, and you could get a ton of likes. And everybody bought it to take this picture, to get these likes, to go viral, knowing damn well it was disgusting. So they take it, so they buy it, they take the picture,
and throw it out.
They upload, and then they throw it out.
Yeah, that's society now. That's society.
At its finest.
That's society.
At its finest. And I just want everybody to just run that clip right back real quick.
Yeah, because that's real shit.
Like, think about that.
Yeah.
The fact that where we are as a society is because everybody knew this was bullshit.
And we're like the fiends as the consumer. It's like we're crackheads. They can sell us anything. Stepped on shit. They can sell us fucking sheetrock.
I mean, like, it's like, really, guys? And
I say us, meaning like us as a people. I use words like we and us just because, like I said, I'm human too.
Yeah.
So I might not fall victim to that, but I fell victim to other things. So I like to, wow.
And again,
that was a good reference. I like that. I never knew that either.
Yeah.
That's real shit, though.
That's real shit.
That's real shit.
And that's exactly what everybody did. I didn't do it. I'm proud to say I didn't do it. And if you did, you did. And I respect. And if you went viral and all that good stuff, I respect even
you
more.
And your
but
frap.
It just kind of
I'm
interesting,
I'm a Dunkin' guy anyway. Dunkin' really need to come holler at us, man.
You're a Dunkin' guy?
I'm a Dunkin' guy, but after what I saw, it's also too experience. That's what really shapes you as a human.
Yeah.
Your experience.
100%.
So if you haven't experienced something, then you wouldn't even know. That's why I'm very open-minded and free-flowing because, and I'll judge as far as saying, I'll just stay away. That's where my judgment is. But as far as you just never know. You get a lot of people that are not qualified to speak on shit, and they speak on shit. You don't know what it's like to run an organization. You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know what it's like to run a multi-million-dollar. I don't know. So that's why I gotta sit there. And that's why I love to have these types of discussions where we're transparent and open because it's not for everybody. No. Entrepreneurship, 100% is a roller coaster.
Yeah. And you have to be willing.
It's a stressful fucking journey. Yeah. Go to college, go find you your 9 to 5, go get you a studio. And don't have no kids and just be happy if you don't come over here if you're not durable.
Yeah.
Don't even try it.
You gotta invest in yourself.
Yeah, time, money, and energy, and find a good campaign.
Yeah, you gotta figure out what works for you.
Yeah,
too, right?
Yeah.
What and like Andrew said, right?
Yeah.
Talk about what you want to talk about.
With who?
With who you want to talk about, right? It's simple. Do what you want.
You get your best work done. It's like this is not really work for me. I'm like work. This is.
I mean, we would have been doing this anyway.
Exactly.
We just put the cameras in our face.
And not for nothing.
And we put a couch behind us.
This is what they need to hear. Because we need more people. We need to fill all of this. We need a group of men. Now we can share ideas and share trauma. And then because I understand too, you have to unlock that too. Transparency, you can't just throw all your cards on the table when you meet somebody because you don't know who's who.
But like you said, you
assess.
Have to, well, in addition, you have to. It has to be relatable.
100%.
Right? And there needs to be trust. And in order to trust somebody, you have to like somebody.
100%.
Right? So there's a process, right? And most people, most men, I feel like even, they have a defense mechanism. They feel
100%.
like everybody's against them, and like there's a wall up where they, need to protect themselves, and or they can't be vulnerable to let somebody know that this ain't working.
And that's why a lot of men have trouble helping other men because it's like, I don't want you to be better than me. I don't want you to steal my whatever it is. I hate that.
I hate that, right? I don't want you to be better than me.
That law is crazy, a 48 law. Never outshine the master. If you're a certain type, if you have a motive, a negative motive, 100%.
Yeah.
If your goal is because you do have leeches who will use you as a fucking stepping stone and then cut ties. So
but that's your part. But that's your job to be aware.
100%. But now if I have a rock, and I know at the core of this rock with the right amount of, definition and defining, this rock could become a diamond.
Yeah.
I'm not good, and I feel like he's genuine. I'm not gonna want him to stay a rock with the hopes that he just is gonna stand under me. I'm gonna want to expose the diamond in him so that he can then create
well, also,
other diamonds.
And then
that's
you
also
that diamond,
I polished that.
I'm gonna sit back. See, I
did that. That's my work.
And I don't need all the likes and to go viral because you are now at a point of greatness.
I'm in the know.
Listen, my feet's up. That's it. That's how you know.
That's it.
That's the sign.
Not the guy that's on camera.
That's the sign of success.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
That is like you being good and me helping you get to the next level. That as a man,
that's God's work.
That's succession.
That's right? Success. Can't do it for everybody. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying as far as that role, if I see potential in somebody that, like I said, is genuine, everybody needs to be coached. What the hell? Even down like that's with these sports, you got in society, or make society, there's not a lot of mental fortitude. Society will put stigmas on you that aren't even true.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan versus, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant versus LeBron. The fans did that.
Yeah.
The fans did that. Realistically speaking, somebody like Jordan should be proud that somebody came behind him and added to the game of basketball and picked up where he left off at. It shouldn't be a this one versus that one. It's like Jordan did it first. LeBron obviously watched him And LeBron became who he is, and now there's players behind him who are going to become who they are. Why is it always a this versus that? They're both Hall of Fame legends. He did this, he did that. That's my work. Yeah. It's Jordan in LeBron.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's history repeating itself.
What are we doing here?
Like, also, that's greatness, learning from greatness, expanding.
Yeah, don't let the fans, don't give a fuck what the fans think. That's the fans' job. Yeah. Understand everybody's role. Some people were meant, those negative comments you get, that's their role.
That's their role.
That's their role in life. They ain't doing nothing but what they supposed to do.
Literally.
They do what they supposed to do.
Trolls.
That's what they were put on this planet. That was God's mission for them to help strengthen. Because I look at it like, I'm not even wasting my time commenting on your shit, whether I like it or not. Especially if I don't like it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't dare. I just feel like I'm releasing too much power away I hate having to do that.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that you did it, you let me know like, oh yeah.
I know exactly where you stand.
But see, people, they run away from negative energy, and that's life. It's going to be give and take.
It's
adversity. It's going to happen. You can't have everybody like you. You're going to transform into 70,000.
Do you want everybody like you?
No, I'm not for everybody. Everybody's not driving a Tesla.
That shit.
Tesla don't want everybody's ass on that seat.
Are you kidding?
Fuck no.
Good.
How the fuck this
good? You don't like me? Get out.
Get out.
I mean, it is like
I'm not made for everybody.
Adversity.
I'm not everybody person.
Adversity is coming. How are you going to handle it?
It's coming.
As my uncle would say when we worked at Chick-fil-A, he said, adversity is coming. It's smacking you in your face. What are you doing with it?
Get ready. Grow from it. Learn from it. Learn.
Because 90% of us, and I'm guilty of it, I've been guilty of it, we run from adversity. Right?
Yeah, me too.
But,
I have to.
But running from adversity doesn't make you stronger.
You're going to pass out because that adversity ain't going to stop coming. So it's only so long you can run before you get exhausted. And now you got to stand there, and that's when you crash out. When you got to face it, I was watching Dragon Ball Z. I'm a Dragon Ball Z guy back in the days. and Gohan, he did a Kamehameha against whatever the fuck Cell was doing. And he had to like push back. And if he would have gave up, he dies. So a lot of times people, once that force of energy of adversity hits them, they don't know what to do. They just start tripping on everybody.
Yeah.
Because they can't handle it.
They can't handle it.
And
part of not being able to handle it is you didn't prepare.
Understand it's coming.
Yeah.
If I know something's coming, doesn't mean I'm not going to get hit. I can brace myself and take something off of it. Versus if I didn't see it, I'm unconscious.
Yeah.
Brace yourself. It's coming. It's gonna happen. I don't give a fuck if you try to pick. You might just walk outside and slip on some black ice and just finish doing something for everybody. That's how life works.
That's exactly how life in the split.
I don't give a fuck how perfect you try to be. So don't. We're not put. So
that's exactly. I was setting this up, and I just said to Spanx.
Yeah, you did.
I keep thinking everything needs to be perfect. It doesn't.
No,
it doesn't.
The message is perfect.
Yeah. Like again, live your life. Do what you want. Be with the people that you love and you care for. Eat the food that you want to eat. Mm-hmm. Travel where you want to travel, and be you. And I'm gonna end this episode by a quote, and I truly believe this. This is the beginning of the rest of your life. And every day is the beginning of the rest of your life. So live your life. Do exactly what you want to do, how you want to do it. And easier said than done, but try not to let everything and everyone affect your decisions.
Absolutely. It's tough. This was dope, man.
Anything from you, Spanx?
I'm gonna just add to what you said. I mean, I don't want to make this as a man, as men. We're taught words like brave, courage, strength, bravery, courage, courageous, strength. I'm going to leave with those. And then there's different acts or experiences that men think prove those three aspects. So to me, the bravest person is the person that can be themselves, and when I say be yourself, I don't mean maliciously, like being you to the point where you're intentionally just trying to hurt people. I mean, be just whoever you are. Like you said, go where you want to go, believe in what you want to believe in, eat what you want to eat. Be your authentic self without letting outside forces force you to not have a hard time being who you really want to be.
Yeah.
That's, to me, the bravest man that there is. A man who could say, you know what, this is what I want to do.
I'm doing it.
Hundreds of people telling me I'm this and that and ridiculing me, but this is what I want to do, and I'm okay with you not being okay with it. That's, to me, bravery. No fight, no street, no gang, no community, no projects can equate to the bravery of simply being who you are.
Be who you are.
Yeah.
Be who you are.
That's where I'm at with, especially for men. Be who you are. There's power in that. I promise you, we're in a very following society, a society where a lot of people struggle with thinking on their own. And people recognize shit like that. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
People recognize, people watch. You never know who's watching you. People don't always need acknowledgement. Don't be few. I like acknowledgement. I like acknowledgement, but I understand that you're not gonna always. The acknowledgement that I'll be is I'll see something that I know I influence.
Yeah.
That's all the acknowledgement.
Yeah, you don't need an attaboys.
It is what it is.
You don't need an attaboys.
Yeah, you don't need that. Just be confident in the work.
Yeah.
You get the work done, clap. That's it. Yeah.
And again,
my boy, this was hard.
Coming to you from the Barbershop Talk.
Yeah.
You're a man. You're a female. You want to come, tell your story, sit on the couch, have a drink,
Survive.
have a donut.
Whatever
Come.
the fuck you want. Survive.
Come. Yeah. Come and enjoy.
Absolutely, because I enjoy it.
Till next time, guys.
Yeah.